The question of whether ancient civilizations received knowledge from beings beyond Earth has captivated human imagination for generations. Across every continent, from the windswept plains of Peru to the dense jungles of Cambodia, monumental structures stand as testaments to capabilities that seem to defy the technological limitations of their eras. These achievements, combined with mythologies that consistently describe visitors from the sky, have led some researchers to propose that extraterrestrial contact influenced human development in profound ways. Consider the Great Pyramid of Giza, constructed around 2560 BCE during the 4th dynasty of ancient Egypt. This massive structure contains approximately 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2 and 70 tons. The precision of its construction remains remarkable even by modern standards. The base of the pyramid forms an almost perfect square, with sides aligned to the cardinal directions within a fraction of a degree. The internal passages and chambers demonstrate sophisticated knowledge of mathematics and astronomy. Some theorists point to these achievements as evidence that the ancient Egyptians possessed knowledge beyond what conventional archaeology suggests was available to Bronze Age civilizations. Yet the pyramid represents only one piece of a larger puzzle. In South America, the city of Tiahuanaco near Lake Titicaca in Bolivia features stonework that challenges our understanding of pre-Columbian capabilities. Massive blocks weighing up to 100 tons were quarried, transported, and fitted together with extraordinary precision. Some stones feature complex interlocking joints that required no mortar, yet fit so tightly that even today a blade cannot slide between them. The site includes the famous Gateway of the Sun, carved from a single block of andesite and decorated with intricate geometric patterns and a central figure that some identify as the creator god Viracocha. The ancient texts of various cultures contain descriptions that proponents of extraterrestrial contact find compelling. The Mahabharata and Ramayana, epic poems from ancient India composed over 2,000 years ago, describe flying machines called vimanas. These vessels reportedly traveled through the air and even other worlds. The texts provide detailed descriptions of aerial battles, weapons that sound remarkably like modern descriptions of advanced technology and beings who descended from the heavens. One passage describes a weapon that produced an incandescent column of smoke and flame as bright as 10,000 suns. Skeptics note these are mythological texts, but proponents argue the specificity of some descriptions suggests the authors witnessed or heard accounts of real phenomena. In ancient Mesopotamia, the Sumerians developed one of the earliest writing systems around 3,400 BCE. Their cuneiform tablets tell of the Anunnaki, beings who came from the heavens and shared knowledge with humanity. According to these accounts, the Anunnaki taught humans agriculture, mathematics, and astronomy. The Sumerian King List, a historical text documenting the rulers of ancient Sumer, describes kings who reigned for impossibly long periods before a great flood, after which kingship was lowered from heaven once again. The astronomical knowledge possessed by the Sumerians was sophisticated, including awareness of planets not visible to the naked eye, which some interpret as evidence of advanced instruction. Nazca, Peru presents another enigma. Between 500 BCE and 500 CE, people created enormous geoglyphs by removing the reddish pebbles covering the desert floor to reveal the lighter ground beneath. These figures include geometric shapes, straight lines extending for miles, and elaborate depictions of animals and plants. Some designs stretch over 600 feet in length. Their full forms can only be appreciated from the air, leading to questions about why a culture without flight technology would create images intended for aerial viewing. One interpretation suggests these were messages or markers for visitors from above. Archaeologists generally believe they served astronomical or religious purposes, possibly as processional pathways, but the debate continues. Easter Island, known to its inhabitants as Rapa Nui, sits in the Pacific Ocean more than 2,000 miles from the nearest continent. Between 1250 and 1500 CE, the islanders carved nearly 900 massive stone figures called moai. These statues, some weighing over 80 tons and standing more than 30 feet tall, were transported across the island and erected on stone platforms. The technical challenges involved in this feat, accomplished by a relatively small population with limited resources, raise questions about their methods. Local legends speak of the statues walking to their locations through the power of mana or spiritual energy. Some researchers suggest these legends might represent a cultural memory of advanced assistance, while mainstream archaeology has demonstrated plausible methods involving ropes, leverage, and communal effort. Ancient astronomical knowledge appears across diverse cultures with surprising sophistication. The Dogon people of Mali possess detailed knowledge about the star Sirius, including information about its companion star Sirius B, a white dwarf not visible to the naked eye and not detected by Western astronomers until 1862. The Dogon claimed this knowledge came from amphibious beings called the Namo who visited Earth from the Sirius system. Anthropologists who studied the Dogon in the 1930s and 1940s documented these beliefs, though debates continue about whether the information predated contact with Western astronomers or whether cultural exchange occurred that hasn't been fully documented. Göbekli Tepe in modern Turkey has revolutionized understanding of prehistoric civilization. Constructed around 9,600 BCE, it predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years and the Great Pyramid by 7,000 years. The site consists of massive T-shaped pillars arranged in circles, some weighing up to 10 tons, decorated with carved reliefs of animals. This complex was built by people traditionally understood to be hunter-gatherers without agriculture, cities, or supposedly the organizational capacity for such projects. The site's existence suggests that either our timeline of human development requires revision or that these builders possessed knowledge and capabilities not previously attributed to Paleolithic peoples. Stone circles and megalithic structures appear on every inhabited continent. Stonehenge in England, constructed between 300 and 2000 BCE, demonstrates astronomical alignments and required transporting massive stones over considerable distances. The site's construction involved both local sarsen stones and smaller bluestones transported from Wales, over 150 miles away. The purpose of these monuments continues to generate scholarly debate, with theories ranging from astronomical observatories to healing centers to ceremonial gathering places. Puma Punku, part of the Tiahuanaco complex, features precisely cut and drilled stones that appear almost machine-made. The site includes blocks with perfectly straight edges, precise 90-degree angles, and complex interlocking shapes. Some blocks show evidence of drilling with a precision that seems to require metal tools. Yet the civilization that built Puma Punku is not believed to have possessed such technology. The stones are made of diorite and granite, extremely hard materials difficult to shape even with modern tools. Conventional archaeology attributes these achievements to patient work with stone tools and abrasives, but the precision achieved remains impressive. The ancient astronaut hypothesis gained popular attention in the late 20th century, but has roots extending much further back. In 1968, Erich von Däniken published a book proposing that extraterrestrial visitors influenced ancient civilizations, pointing to architectural achievements, mythological accounts, and artifacts as evidence. While mainstream archaeology rejects these conclusions, arguing that ancient peoples possessed greater capabilities than often credited and that their achievements can be explained through human ingenuity, determination, and accumulated knowledge, the questions raised continue to fascinate. Ancient texts from around the world describe beings descending from the sky. The book of Ezekiel in the Hebrew Bible contains a famous passage describing a vision of a wheeled vehicle surrounded by fire, containing beings with an appearance described in elaborate detail. Some interpret this as a description of a spacecraft. The ancient Chinese text Huainanzi describes flying vehicles and immortals who traveled between heaven and earth. Japanese legends speak of the Kappa, beings who came from the water or sky and possessed advanced knowledge. Aboriginal Australian traditions describe the Wandjina, sky beings who came during the Dreamtime and created the world. Artifacts discovered worldwide fuel speculation about ancient contact. The Antikythera mechanism, retrieved from a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera, dates to approximately 100 BCE and represents an analog computer of extraordinary sophistication. This device tracked astronomical cycles and predicted eclipses using a complex system of bronze gears. Nothing comparable appears in the historical record for over 1,000 years afterward. While clearly a product of Greek craftsmanship and knowledge, its sophistication demonstrates that ancient civilizations achieved technical capabilities often underestimated. Crystal skulls, particularly those claimed to be of ancient Mesoamerican origin, have generated controversy. Some were alleged to possess properties that defied conventional explanation, supposedly carved from single pieces of crystal against a natural grain with no tool marks visible even under microscopic examination. However, Most crystal skulls examined by museums have been determined to be modern fabrications, created with jewelers' tools available from the 19th century onward. This reminds us that not every mysterious artifact withstands scrutiny, and skepticism serves an important function in separating genuine mysteries from manufactured ones. The alignment of ancient structures with astronomical phenomena appears too consistent to be coincidental. The Great Pyramid aligns with true north with remarkable accuracy. The Mayan city of Chichen Itza features the Temple of Kukulkan, designed so that during the spring and autumn equinoxes, the setting sun creates the illusion of a serpent descending the pyramid stairs. Newgrange in Ireland, a passage tomb constructed around 3200 BCE, features an opening designed so that the rising sun on the winter solstice illuminates the inner chamber. These alignments demonstrate sophisticated astronomical observation and mathematical calculation. Mayan astronomy achieved remarkable accuracy. The Mayans calculated the length of the solar year as 365.2420 days, compared to the modern calculation of 365.2422 days. They tracked Venus with precision and developed complex calendrical systems, including the long count calendar, which tracked time over thousands of years. Their astronomical tables, preserved in codices, predicted eclipses and planetary movements. This knowledge developed through patient observation and mathematical sophistication, though some researchers question whether such accuracy could have been achieved through naked eye observation alone. Ancient maps present their own puzzles. The Piri Reis map, created in 1513 by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, shows the coastline of South America and possibly Antarctica with surprising accuracy for its era. The map was based on earlier source maps, now lost, raising questions about how accurate these ancient sources were and what surveying capabilities existed to create them. Some researchers argue the map shows Antarctica's coastline as it would appear without ice, suggesting the source maps dated from time before glaciation or that they were created with aerial surveying capabilities. Mainstream historians note that the map's accuracy is debated and that portions of it contain clear inaccuracies alongside accurate sections. The construction techniques used for ancient megalithic structures continue to generate debate. How were massive stones moved without wheels, metal tools, or draft animals in some cases? Experimental archaeology has demonstrated that determined groups can move large stones using rollers, sledges, ramps, and leverage, but whether these methods fully explain the most impressive achievements remains debated. The precision fitting of massive polygonal stones at sites like Sacsayhuaman in Peru, where stones fit together so tightly that mortar was unnecessary, represents a technical achievement requiring enormous skill regardless of whether conventional or alternative explanations are correct. Genetic studies of human populations reveal migration patterns and connections between ancient peoples that weren't previously understood. DNA analysis shows that human populations moved and mixed more extensively than previously believed, carrying knowledge and techniques across vast distances. This interconnection might explain some similarities in ancient structures and myths, without requiring extraterrestrial intervention. However, it also raises questions about how knowledge spread and whether lost civilizations possess capabilities that have been forgotten. The antediluvian theme appears in mythologies worldwide. Stories of a great flood that destroyed an earlier civilization appear in Mesopotamian, Hebrew, Greek, Hindu, Chinese, and indigenous American traditions, among others. These consistent narratives might represent cultural memory of actual catastrophic flooding events at the end of the last ice age, when sea levels rose dramatically, or they might represent archetypal stories that emerge independently across cultures. Some researchers propose that a sophisticated prehistoric civilization was destroyed by such catastrophes, and that survivors spread knowledge to rebuild, which would explain similarities in ancient achievements worldwide. Ancient batteries discovered in Mesopotamia demonstrate unexpected technological sophistication. The Baghdad battery, discovered in 1938, consists of a clay jar containing a copper cylinder surrounding an iron rod. When filled with an acidic substance, it produces a small electric current. Whether ancient peoples actually used these devices for electroplating or other purposes remains uncertain, but their existence challenges assumptions about ancient technological understanding. Acoustic properties of ancient structures suggest sophisticated understanding of sound. The Great Pyramid exhibits acoustic phenomena, with certain chambers producing resonance at specific frequencies. Temples in Malta contain chambers with acoustic properties that amplify human voice frequencies while dampening others. Whether these effects were intentional or coincidental remains debated, but they demonstrate that ancient builders may have understood principles of acoustics that aren't immediately obvious. The question of whether extraterrestrial contact occurred in antiquity cannot be definitively answered with current evidence. Mainstream archaeology explains ancient achievements through human capability, noting that our ancestors possessed intelligence equal to our own and could accomplish remarkable feats through accumulated knowledge, communal effort, and patient work over generations. The human capacity for innovation, especially when motivated by religious devotion or societal prestige, should not be underestimated. Yet questions persist. Why do cultures separated by oceans and continents share similar myths about beings from the sky? How did ancient peoples achieve precision that challenges modern capabilities? What knowledge has been lost to time that might explain apparent anomalies? These questions continue to drive research and speculation. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence continues through modern scientific programs. Radio telescopes scan the cosmos for signals. Robotic probes explore our solar system. Scientists study extremophile organisms to understand how life might exist in harsh environments elsewhere. The possibility that intelligent life exists beyond Earth is taken seriously by mainstream science, even as the specific hypothesis of ancient astronauts remains controversial. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between skeptical dismissal and uncritical acceptance. Ancient peoples were clearly capable of remarkable achievements that demonstrate intelligence, organization, and technical skill. Whether they received assistance from beyond Earth or accomplished their feats through purely human means, their legacy continues to inspire wonder and investigation. The monuments they left, the knowledge they preserved, and the questions they raise ensure that humanity's ancient past remains a subject of endless fascination, challenging us to reconsider what we think we know about human history and our place in the cosmos. The dialogue between conventional archaeology and alternative theories, when conducted with intellectual honesty and mutual respect, can illuminate aspects of our past that might otherwise remain hidden, advancing human understanding regardless of which interpretation ultimately proves correct.